Hi, I'm Laura Berlage of Erindale Tapestry Studio. In this tutorial, we are going to finish our sleepy, snowy owl. At this point, we have colored our owl and added the wings and the tail. We've worked on the head, but now we are ready to add the face and the feet. So the first thing we're going to do is add the eyes. I'm going to flatten out the front of the face just a little bit more. And then I'm going to look at where I'm going to put the eyes. Owl eyes are very large compared to the head, and they are near the front so that the owl can hunt better at night. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline where I want those eyes to go. Both of them. Just outlining them, not poking in the middle, just making an outline for the eyes. Trying to make them as even as possible. And part of what this does is to sink where the eyes are going to go into the base of the head, and it allows this nose ridge in the middle to pop forward, which is exactly what I want it to do. But it's daytime, so our owl is sleepy. So we're going to make these cute eyelids. I'm going to make the eyelid out of this light gray. And since I'm making two the same, I'll just go ahead and pull both of the wool off. It doesn't take much wool. And then I'm going to take that wool and roll it in my hands to form a light ball. This one's a little bit smaller, so add a little more fluff so they feel the same in my hand. And then I'm going to lay those onto the eye, and I'm just poking the perimeter of the eye in the same spot where I outlined it. Okay, take this one, do the same. All the way around. Trying to stay where I had marked it previously. And then I'm going to tack in the middle just a little bit. I don't want it to end up flat because I want to get the sense that it's the lid over the round eye. Just enough. Defining the edges again. There. Now, I'm going to make the liner between the overlid and the underlid. I'm going to do that with black. And it doesn't take much at all. I'm just going to tease a little bit. And then I'm going to take each of these wisps and I'm going to roll it like a log, just a little bit to encourage it to go into the shape that I want. And I'm going to start on the inside. Go ahead and tack them both at the same spot. Just tacking in that tip. And then as you can see, it makes an arc, but we still get to see a little bit of the lower lid color coming through, as well as the upper. So as I come along, I'm going to give the wool a bit of a twist. Poke it in, twist, twist again, more, and I'm going to work glass of that fluff right in along the eye. Come back and finesse the line. And we'll do the other one. Twist and poke. Twist, poke. You get a much more defined line with the twisting. And bring in the fluffy end. Try to get them as even with each other as possible. Sometimes you need to tamp down the upper lid just a little bit. Define the top of the eyelid. Sleepy eyes. The next part we're going to do is the beak. Owls have a shorter, very curved beak, and it's hooked. So unlike the other bird tutorials I have where you've got this nice pointy beak, this beak is going to be very close to the bird's face. And it's going to end up with fluff covering most of it. So we don't need a lot of beak wool to start with. I'm going to use black. And the beak is going to be down here near the base of the face. So I'm going to start by working in the wispy end and bring the beak into the face, trying to poke within a very small area so it doesn't spread out onto the face. And come in from the sides, give it a little volume, keeping it in a relatively small spot. So the nostrils on an owl would be right at the top of the beak. But since snowy owls live where it's very cold, they have fluffy, downy feathers that cover up that part of the beak so that the air isn't as cold when they breathe it. So I'm going to take the roving and just peel off little bits like that. And then I'm going to fold that in half, lay it along the top of the beak, and I'm going to work it in enough that it's attached, but I want to maintain some of this fluffiness. So I'm poking into the white wool of the face around the beak. Got a little ahead of me there, so I'll pick it back up. There. So you get a sense of the fluffiness. around the beak. If the first time you do it, it's not quite fluffy enough, you can always peel off a little more wool and add a second layer. There. Hello, sleepy one. Next, we're going to do the feet. Owls have unique feet in that they have 2 claws in the back and 2 claws in the front. So when they grab their prey, it's a much stronger grab than 3 claws in the front and 1 in the back. So when they're sitting, it looks like there's just 2 toes, because there's only 2 toes in the front. So when we make the feet, we'll offer that 2-toed look. The feet and the tail are the 3-point balance that keeps our owl standing upright. So I'm going to take 2 chunks of wool, about the same size. We're going to roll these guys loosely as well. And then I'm going to look at how my owl wants to stand. Don't do this on the foam. You don't get an accurate representation. Do it on your table. And, yep, wants to fall forward. So if I were to put my feet about there, I can tell that that would balance better with the tail. Back on the foam. And we're going to start by anchoring the back of the foot into the body of the owl. Because we don't want the feet to pull off. That would be sad. Then flip that over, and I'm going to start anchoring the top of the foot into the body of the owl. Same on this side. Working the sides a little bit. Sheep lunge. Double check my stance. Yep, not falling forward anymore. Then I'm going to poke in a straight line from the back of the foot to the front of the foot. That's going to help rough out my 2 toes. Which I can then shape individually to help round them out on the top and flatten them out on the bottom. Round them out on the top and flatten them out on the bottom. It's going to give me a stable foot pad to keep my owl standing upright. And then, here's a fun little detail. I'm going to put some claws in those front toes. And for this, I just need tiny little wisps of the black. Roll them up a bit. And I'm going to go right here on the toes, like the claws curled under. And we get a little sense of that toenail on there. One at a time. And the other foot as well. Those in. Come around outside of the foot one more time. Double check that the owl is going to stand. Yay! And now you have completed your sleepy snowy owl. You can go and needle felt a bit more all the way around to make sure that the foam is nice and attached into the felt all the way around, and that the felt has nice, it should feel kind of like a stress ball when you squeeze it. So you can just go through and firm it up and enjoy your owl. Congratulations.